After walking in the steppe of Maître, the forgotten French explorer, we keep following our road to the Central Islands. Oh my god. This region is so fascinating, and there are so many interesting topics to talk about, such as the relation between Highlanders and their elephant, or the rich diversity of culture with the mix of different ethnic groups.
But on our way, we met so many people working and living from coffee. Passionate people that give us the opportunity to learn more about the whole process of the coffee, from the farm to your cup. So today, we bring you to explore a bit deeper this very interesting and fascinating beans. But first of all, January.
Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm Aurel, and together with my wife Lynn, we are a French-Vietnamese adventurer couple. A few weeks ago, we decided to take on a new adventure. We packed our essentials and set off on a thrilling journey across Southeast Asia on our trusty motorbike. If I was asking you to think about a country producing coffee in the world, you would probably think about Kenya, Ethiopia, Colombia, Brazil, but would you ever think about Vietnam? Surprisingly, Vietnam is the second biggest exporter in the world, right after Brazil, to export coffee bean. An impressive 97% of the bean grown in Vietnam are Robusta. Bean variety that is today in a very high demand, especially with the massive growth of instant coffee, which use mostly Robusta beans. Vietnamese coffee is often stereotyped as poor, low-quality coffee bean. And I was quite curious to know why and to understand more about this fascinating bean. That's why today we are in a durian farm. The place today we are is belong to a Vietnamese guy named Hoa. He's trying to develop thin Robusta, so like better quality beans. And he has this farm of durian. So what is he doing is he's helping local farmers by buying their products and selecting the right beans to produce the best quality coffee.
So on the tree we have the coffee cherry, which is green unripe, red ripe. In a coffee cherry are two seeds, and the seeds they commonly call it the bean, but it's actually the seed. Two. That's why most of the logos you see, like doing with the coffee, you see two of them. Because two of them are in one cherry. Okay. Then they send it to the processing factory like us. We finish processing it, we finish drying it, depulp it, and then that's called the green bean. So the green bean is the thing before you send it to the roastery. So we're gonna have now our coffee cherries. There's still trash in it, there are leaves in it, there are sticks in it. There are green ones, there are defects. Defects are cherries which didn't fully develop. Maybe insect biting, the branch broke, mutation, blah, blah, blah. We don't want them. So we throw everything in here, gets up, it comes up here, it starts shaking, and all the dirt, like sand and stuff, will fall down here. The cherries are bigger, all the vibrate, they will fall in here. The leaves will stay on top and vibrate and fall over there. Then it falls on this thing, and again, like small shit, will fall in here. So what you're gonna see, the small shit, what I mean, is like this. So there are still some beans in there, right? They could be here. But what we're gonna do is, we maybe select them out later again, and it's still commodity coffee. So here you see the cherries will fall through these holes. Again, leaves, we try to separate them out. Then they will fall in this bath. And in this bath, because the defects, they are not fully developed. So the bean inside the cherry is not fully developed, which means the density is lighter, it's not that high. So the ones with the heavy density, like the fully developed ones, will sink, the good ones. The bad ones will float, so we can select them out. Then they fall over there, they get a little bit dry, blown, get up there, and here, we're gonna shoot them. The color shooting machine is here. So it's like red, and then that one's out. Another one just fall through. To field and try to harvest just the right ones. Then you're gonna see and appreciate every single fucking cup of coffee. Every cup of coffee. You're gonna say, all right, there's so much work in it. It's crazy.
So the coffee bean was introduced by the French missionaries in the late 80s. But here is the twist. Why the French have introduced coffee beans, they weren't the main reason the country shift to become the second biggest exporter of coffee bean today. Fast forward to the 1970s. East Germany is facing a coffee crisis and they are not able to supply the caffeine to their citizens. The plan? Take advantage of the perfect condition of Vietnam to develop a coffee, and in exchange for their support, they can receive part of the harvest. But growing is not exactly quick. It takes time. And in the late 80s, in 1989, when the first wave of beans are ready to harvest, there is something happening in Germany. Reunification of the country. And suddenly, the coffee crisis is no longer a problem. Vietnam was left with a huge potential industry. So today, coffee is a massive source of income for Vietnam. The demand growing faster and faster, the focus has shifted a bit, which of course come with its own challenges.
During the process, we observed that about 50% of the cherry was green, meaning unripe.
To understand better, I guess it's good time for us to meet the traders and the farmers to understand their challenges.
Here, to dry the coffee faster, they separate the bean and the cherry, and they use the dry cherry, to burn, and then like that they will dry the bean faster. The cherry will go there and use it to be burned, and the hair will be used to dry the bean. And right here you have the beans that are drying, the green beans. They are drying here. I mean, I think we can dry it under the sun, but it's the yield is quite poor, and time is money. You don't dry it this way, right? When you do the no way. But why they dry it? Like it's high efficient?
They can spend the money faster.
Ah,
So they dry it quickly. Then
They can
sell
buy
it.
more.
They sell it right away, and then they can buy more.
It's better to dry under the sun, basically.
Slow. The slower you dry, the better. Because at nighttime, like the drying process, the glucose, the sugar content still goes into the bean, so you get more complexity, sweetness into it.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so if we didn't take the time to listen and try to understand the farmers, we would probably miss these points. Why basically they are harvest too early.
The farmers, when they see the price of the coffee is going up, is raising up compared to last year, so they're trying to harvest as quick as possible because of they think that they have a good price already.
Talking about the market, I mean the demand is booming because the company they buy it for instant coffee.
Yeah.
And what matters is not the bean complexity or the bean quality, but what matters is the caffeine. So it's not so important that the bean is ripe or not that ripe.
Yeah. One point is the thief. So because of in the coffee farms, they don't have the fence or anything to protect their coffee farms. So that's the reason why when they see the price going up, so they're trying to harvest as quick as possible.
So basically, if the price is raising up, then the risk is bigger, is raising up as well.
Yes.
Because everybody want to sell beans. Everyone, I mean, this become like expensive.
Yeah.
Right? During our trip in the Central Islands, we met more people like Hua. passionate about this wonderful bean and hoping better future for the coffee industry in Vietnam. One of those early adopters named Duc. He developed a startup named The Espresso. With his wife, Mer, they select, process and roast coffee.
Give you some strong water.
Okay, give me strong quality.
Strong water, right?
Yeah, but it's good.
Sweet.
Sweet. Yeah, sweet.
Very sweet.
Not too bitter actually, just a little, like bitter, but like just what you need.
We have good bitter and bad bitter,
Mm,
and
correct.
it's a good bitter.
Like people like you start to develop fine Robusta, or they start to develop Arabica and.
Let's say that I am the first boy. So last year I have top 3 for Robusta and top 8 for Arabica.
Really?
Yes.
But how you make sure the quality is good?
This follow the CQI procedure and SCA procedure.
So you have procedures.
Yeah.
SCA stand for Specialty Coffee Association and CQI stand for Coffee Quality Institute, are defining clear standards which we got the chance to experiment with Duc. It aims to evaluate roasted coffee beans independently from any barista method. It was very interesting and showed us the serious of the methods. It's gonna be the last coffee of the day because I will not sleep for 2 nights. Santé. Nice to meet you, Ledo.
We met so many nice people in the Central Highlands. And before leaving this wonderful area, we wanted to try a cup of Arabica coffee from Vietnam. It led us to Mang Den, where we met 2 amazing guys. Thắng, passionate about coffee and awarding second prize last year for Arabica. And Robin Sang, passionate about adventures and our host for tonight. Also, we spend more time to enjoy our time in Mang Den rather than filming. So I think it's time now for the conclusion.
In this video we saw, and I think it's important to talk about it again, coffee in Vietnam is not just industry, it's a whole culture.
Yeah, it's
right?
a culture. Because of like a friend or like a family, whenever you meet a friend, you also say that, okay, let's meet at a coffee.
In Vietnam has its own coffee, like you have the Café Soda in Vietnam. So, I mean, there is nowhere else I drink such a coffee before.
Yeah.
And when you try, you get addicted. This is basically condensate milk and coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee which has its own process in Vietnam, the Phin,
The
Café Phin. So it's quite unique. In the meantime, Vietnam is developing what we call the specialty coffee.
Yeah.
It's famous in the Western country, I would say. And more Vietnamese are interested in drinking specialty coffee. So this is 2 things, like Café Soda will not disappear, but at the same time you got like more and more specialty coffee, which is a good thing for the industry, I believe, because it developed like more complex bean and more quality bean.
Yeah.
So we want to dedicate also this video to all the people we met on the way. Beside learning about the coffee from the bean to the cup, it's a whole experience of meeting people.
Yeah.
It gives us inspiration how we want to make the video in the future, at least.
So we want to spend more time to meet the people, to meet the local people. Like that, we can learn a lot of things from them, and also share a lot of like the experience with the local people.